Thank you so much. Hey, how are you?
How's it going? How's it going?
Good, going good. So my name is Shawn Leavitt, and I talk for change and disruption. I'll start the story back in the amazing Midwest state of Nebraska, the city of Lincoln, where I was raised. A really typical story, young gay kid growing up in the Midwest in the 1960s and 70s, totally accepted, not completely an outcast, absolutely. Estranged from the parents, kicked out of the home, housing insecure, homeless, food insecure, dropped out of college, had to work 3 jobs and ultimately get to a place where I could succeed. And what did that teach me? It taught me, more than anything, that you cannot accept the status quo. The status quo for me was hard. The status quo for me was 3 jobs. The status quo for me was not getting a college education. The status quo for me was being homeless. So I changed that. And it led me to a realization that you have to always embrace change. But more importantly, you have to strive for change. You have to be the change. You have to be a part of the movement from the status quo. How many of you love change? Yeah, like nobody does, right? It's painful, but it's scarier to not change. It's scarier to not be there. So I have a great job. I work for Comcast. Comcast is made up of 3 big entities: Sky, which is our European division; NBC Universal, which is television, theme parks, movies. You might have heard of it. And Comcast Cable, which is delivering cable and internet services for those of you in the Philadelphia area. For those of you here in New York, you're stuck with somebody by the name of Spectrum, I think. Sorry. That all sucks. So move to Philly, you'll have great cable. So it's a great company, and it's one that's embraced me and given me a tremendous opportunity to really disrupt the status quo, to really focus on how do we bring things to life for our employees? How do we, as a company that recognizes that our employees are our number one asset, how do we ensure that they are physically, emotionally, and financially healthy? Critical to the success of our organization. Well, I didn't start in this space, right? I finally graduated from college. I went to work in HR. And back in 1999, someone called and said, "We want you to do a rotational assignment. We want you to come to corporate." I worked in a division. "We want you to come to corporate. We want you to run benefits." What the hell is benefits? I didn't know what that meant, but I could have stayed with the status quo. But what did I do? Did I embrace change? Yes, I did. You guys are getting there. So how do you take a job where you don't know anything about the work, right? Well, first, you have to accept one incredible fact about life. It is so much easier to be unencumbered by knowledge than it is to actually know what the hell you're doing. Why? It's a freedom. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to grab something and try it. And what I will tell you is that is one of the most powerful experiences you could ever go through. So if you're given the opportunity, if someone says to you, hey, come work for me, come try this, come do this, the answer should be yes. The answer should be yes, I want to try that. I want to learn. I want to change. I want to grow. Because that's what allows you to reach a point where you have tried and learned and grown and developed, and you can do something then that is disruptive. I want to share with you why disruption is so important, why you have to think about changing the status quo. How many of you have ever experienced going to a doctor's office? Yeah? Okay, about 4 people in the audience. The rest of y'all need to make a damn appointment. Let me just make that clear. So, the experience that we have today when we go to a doctor's office is fascinating, right? We all show up and we go in, and can you believe it? Even though you were there 6 months ago, they have no idea who you are. Like, can you fill out this paperwork? I filled out the paperwork before. Well, can you fill it out again? And can we get another copy of your insurance card and your ID? And yes, you need to sign all this paperwork to give away all the privacy that you have been granted by the government. So that is your experience every time you walk into a doctor's office, right? Then to make it worse, right, you sit down after that and your appointment is at 10 a.m., which you've dutifully arrived 10 minutes before, right? 10 minutes before you've arrived, and you now wait until 11:45, right? You get 4 minutes with the doctor. You don't understand a damn word the person said, but you are walking out with a piece of paper that says you got a disease and need a prescription, right? You don't really know what the disease is, and you don't know exactly how to pronounce the drug, but that's your experience, right? So how do you disrupt that? How do you think about that differently? Oh, and by the way, you do that for medical, for your health. You do that for your dentist. Then you have it for the eye doctor, right? So what we have said is, how do we disrupt that experience? Well, at Comcast, we've created world-class, unique, one-of-a-kind, holistic clinics, where when you walk in, you hit the iPad, it knows who you are, and within 60 seconds, you are in the exam room. You can go see your doctor, your dentist, your eye doctor, speak with a pharmacist, all in 90 minutes. Why? Because you as an employee are important to us. Your time is important. You are important. Disruption is how you change the experience that we all have. If you think about it differently, it is how you change the future. So I encourage you to think about how you can disrupt the work that you're doing, how you can disrupt the experience that people have around you, how you can disrupt and change the future. I'm Shawn Leavitt, and I talk for change and disruption.